Good morning, everybody. It's about 11 o'clock. We're going to get started. And the first part we're going to go over is we're going to go through the website design and the importance of the website design in order to drastically generate people and interest to your agency. And I apologize. We're going to go over hashtagging first. So Joe, our marketing man here at Paradiso Insurance, is going to be going through hashtagging. I'm going to be kind of chiming in. And we are encouraging you to send over questions, concerns if we're going too fast, going too slow, whatever it may be. Do not hesitate to send over questions. So we're going to dive right into hashtagging because it's what we're finding, and as I speak around the country, finding more and more agencies not understanding on how to use hashtags in order and why they're so important to use when making posts. Also finding a lot of questions about where hashtags can be used. A lot of people not knowing that hashtags do play a role in Facebook, in other areas other than Twitter. So without further ado, Joe's going to step in and we're going to go right into hashtagging.
All right, good morning, everybody. Like I had mentioned in the send-outs and the invites, we are going to make this a power hour. So we are locked in for the next 60 minutes to talk about hashtagging and agency website design. And I'd like to mention that this webinar is being recorded for, if we're moving too quickly or anything like that. Anyone who registered or attended the webinar will be sent the recorded segment after we're done here. And if you have any questions or concerns, we have our contact information at the screen here, and we'll also have a screen at the end with our contact as well. So let's get started with hashtagging. So for those of you who aren't familiar, we're going to go over what a hashtag is really quick. As you can see on the slide, it's a word or phrase preceded by a hash or pound sign. We have it right there. And it's used to identify a group of messages or posts on a specific topic or subject. So a hashtag is used in social media. You won't really see it in email marketing or anything like that. It's more of a social network strategy. So you can use hashtags on Facebook, Pinterest, Google+, Instagram, and Twitter. Of course, Twitter is where the hashtag essentially was born. But also looking back at the slide, they're keywords or phrases that correspond to your industry, posts, or even to your insurance agency's brand. And by using hashtags, your post will become more discoverable online and reach a wider audience overall. And you have to use the hashtags you think your audience will be searching for. So essentially what a hashtag does is it categorizes your posts by message, the subject or topic, or even you can use hashtags that correspond with your agency's brand. And what it does is it allows people to discover your posts online. So for instance, if you had a post about Halloween, like we did with our reverse trick-or-treat donation drive with the medical center, basically if people were searching for a hashtag that said hashtag Halloween, our post would come up in their feed on Twitter or Facebook or whatever social network they were using at the time. So it's a way of reaching a wider audience outside of your network by categorizing your posts and making them discoverable online. So let's take a couple of examples here from our Instagram. If you look at the phone screenshot on the left, this is a screenshot of what it looks like when you're scrolling through our company's Instagram page. And essentially what we're going to do is take a look at how we categorize our photos or small videos on Instagram to get them a wider reach online on Instagram. So here's a couple of shots of our Instagram page. As you can see, this is what it looks like taking a look at the Paradiso Insurance Instagram. So I'd like to show you what we did with this one picture here of one of our agents during Halloween. What we did is we used the hashtag Happy Halloween in our post, and you can see that in the post description on the left screenshot here. We have the description says hashtag Happy Halloween from all of us here at Paradiso Insurance. And then if you are sitting on Instagram on your smartphone, that hashtag actually becomes a clickable link. And if you tap it, you can see on the right here, this is what will come up. It'll have a quick search on Instagram for hashtag Happy Halloween, and you can see other posts that people are making that correspond with Halloween themes. So this is a way of, if someone else had posted Happy Halloween, or you had someone outside of your network searching for Happy Halloween, now the Paradiso Insurance post would show up on their end, and your post will get more discovered online by including the hashtag. Now we also have a couple examples from our company's Twitter. On the left here, we have a campaign coming up that we do on an annual basis, and essentially we have our Flag Day barbecue here at the office, where we allow people within our local community to come in with their old American flags, and we give them a free American flag as a replacement, a brand new one. All the while, we actually hold a cookout as well, and we invite people from the local community to come join us. We have the radio station come down, and things like that. It's a huge event that ties into our company's brand. It speaks to, our core message of our brand, shopping locally, giving back to the local community, and things like that. So we wanted to get as much traction as we possibly could online to make sure this event was a success once it comes up. So what we've done here is we've included a few key hashtags. You can see in our screenshot here on the left, we have a quick message saying, join us June 14th for our annual Flag Day barbecue. We've hashtagged Flag Day because we're sure there's going to be a lot of posts on Twitter about Flag Day, so that's going to be a strong hashtag. Then we hashtag our agency because that's a hashtag we actually use on a consistent and frequent basis. So that hashtag, essentially the more a hashtag is used on a social media, the stronger it will become and the more traction that hashtag will see. So we've hashtagged our agency over time on many of our posts, and it's becoming a stronger hashtag because we're trying to prompt our network to hashtag our agency as well. And I'll explain that a little more later on. But then we also hashtagged our local town name, Stafford Springs, as well as our state, Connecticut. So that way if anyone's searching for, Flag Day Connecticut posts, they will find this one come up right at the top of the search because we included both of those hashtags. I'd also like to mention, for anyone curious, we also do have webinar controls for anyone logged in on the GoToWebinar. If you can see you have a chat and questions and things like that. If you want to ask questions, I have the chat open in front of me as well, and I'll just answer them as they come in. But now let's take a look at this second screenshot here from our company's Twitter. This is a quick, we essentially post all of our blogs to all of our social networks. So this is a blog that we wrote about, ATV essentials for any of our ATV riders that are interested in purchasing ATV insurance. That's basically the persona that we were targeting with this post. And we had a quick message, and again, you're limited to 140 characters, that's letters and spaces, when you're posting to Twitter. So it's a quick brief message, and it says, are you prepared with these 9 ATV essentials? And we hashtagged ATV, so that way anyone who's interested in looking up posts for ATV on Twitter, they will find our post as well. And then we have a quick link to our blog, which is shortened through, you can see this is actually shortened through Hootsuite because it's an Owly link. And then we have quick hashtags for off-roading and four-wheeling. So that way if anyone's searching for that type of content on Twitter, if they search for the hashtag off-roading or they search for the hashtag four-wheeling, they will discover our post.
The other great thing about shortening the link is it allows you to get more words involved.
Yeah.
So with Twitter being 140 words max, what you're doing is you're really allowing yourself to get more bang for your buck by shortening that link.
Yes, and Twitter is, of course, a free-to-use network, but again, we say more bang for your buck as in having a little bit more efficient posts since you're so limited on this network.
And once again, the importance of visual content marketing. I don't care if it's the Twitter world, even though we're on hashtags. If you have a post and you can create or have a really cool visual content, you will get a lot more likes, a lot more shares, and a lot more retweets in all social avenues because the visual content is the key to getting people to be engaged.
Yes, and actually HubSpot put out a statistic in 2016 saying that any marketing efforts online within digital marketing is 96% more effective to reach your audience if visual content is included. So that's definitely important to know. Moving on here. We have a quick example of searching hashtags on Twitter. This is actually a way you can essentially reach out to people looking for more engagement within your network. This is a way you can search for, I did a quick example on a hashtag CT business. The search bar that I included right underneath the Twitter logo on this slide, that search bar is available in the upper right hand corner of Twitter whenever you're logged in. And you can search hashtags in this search bar. So I've searched for hashtag CT business because we're in Connecticut and I wanted to look for local businesses. And you can see on the right, this is a screenshot of what you'll see when you search for CT business. Since CT business is actually a hashtag that our agency uses from time to time, you can actually see one of our posts show up right in the search there. but then we'll also be able to discover other CT businesses as well. So essentially what we've done here is, if you're not familiar with our partner program, we have a partner program at Paradiso Insurance where we essentially give local or small businesses from Connecticut or Stafford Springs free marketing material, and we encourage them to share it to their social networks. That way we're essentially getting free marketing through Paradiso Insurance, because what we do is we provide them with visuals or blogs or even videos at times, and essentially they share it to their networks, but it's all linked back to Paradiso Insurance because we originally shared it to Paradiso Insurance, and then they shared it to their networks from the Paradiso Insurance page. So every post that we provide our partners with, our business partners with, essentially links back to Paradiso Insurance to give us free cross-marketing traction online. So what we do here to look for new partners, we will from time to time look for hashtags such as CT business, and there's also an advanced search on Twitter as well where you'll have more options you can play around with as well. But it's a way of reaching certain people outside of your network. You can look for their hashtags that correspond with your posts, and then either retweet their content or reply to their content, or even give them a like to give your network some engagement. And if you're looking for engagement to your network, it's important that you engage to other people's networks as well. Quick question just came in here. 1 second so I can open it up. Alrighty, we had a question come in saying, where do you recommend finding photos for posts? This is a very good question, and it came from Lisa Johnson. Thank you, Lisa. Essentially, it's very important that you use commercially legal content for all of your posts, or else your agency might get into some trouble online with copyright laws. So we have a couple of sites that I'd like to recommend, and I will include them. I'm going to do an email send out to everyone that attended our webinar today. I'm going to do an email send out with some additional content, including the recorded segment and a few more links or what have you that people request. But for our commercially legal stock images, we use a website called pixabay.com. That's pixabay.com. That's all commercially legal photos. And there's another website called unsplash.com, which is just unsplash.com, and that's all commercially legal photos as well. So what we do is sometimes, like with this Protecting the American Dream visual that you can see on our Twitter here, we did a search for the American flag on Pixabay. This photo came up, so we brought the photo into Photoshop. Me and Julia here that work as full-time marketers for Paradiso Insurance, we can take that content, bring it into Photoshop, brand it for Paradiso Insurance. As you can see here, it has our branded design element, the red shape, which is in our branded red color, and we have our branded fonts as well, and then we have the logo in the bottom right. That's all stuff that we did in-house with Photoshop, but we started with a commercially legal photo first to make sure we wouldn't run into any trouble along the way. Now, I have another question coming in from Dave Westwood here. Have you ever had to deal with anyone trolling before, and how would you handle those posts? For anyone not familiar, trolling is essentially when people log on to the internet just to cause, just to be an annoyance on purpose, essentially, or cause trouble online. And we have had a couple of people who are trolling on our Facebook page before. Essentially, if it's a real problem that they're addressing, we'll address it with a positive response. We always have a positive tone and positive message when it comes to social media posts or responding. But if someone's being an annoyance on purpose, depending on how much trouble they're causing for us. If they're causing a lot of trouble for us on our page, we're just going to get rid of them off the page and block them. But sometimes it'll just be a matter of they'll have one little side comment that we thought was inappropriate or something like that, and we'll just delete the comment really quick. If they become consistent with it, we'll block them, but we usually will just delete the comment really quick if it doesn't belong on our page. Another question coming in really quick. How important is thanking people for follows on Twitter as a business page? Depending on how much follows you're getting, that could be a little bit tedious. It could be an effective strategy though, especially when you're looking to engage within your network. It shows people that you are always paying attention to your network, so that could be a great campaign. What I would suggest that you do is, if you get frequent follows coming in, maybe what you want to do is for your agency is maybe once a week have a visual put together that's branded for your agency, that has your agency's owner and maybe your secondary owner in a picture together, and then you could say, thanks for the follow, and brand it to your agency, put your agency's logo on that visual, and then what you want to do is maybe once or twice a week, push that out onto your Twitter and say thanks for the follow and tag the people that followed you that week. That might be an easy way to go around it, but if you want to take that route, I would suggest having a few visuals, not just the same picture every time, so that you can kind of recycle and have a rotation of maybe 3 or 4 visuals that say thanks for the follow. And this is very similar to something that we do on Twitter. What we do is essentially we thank people for the retweets. So a retweet is essentially when someone sees your tweet on their newsfeed and hits retweet, it gets blasted out to their network. It's just like sharing on Facebook. And so when people retweet our content a couple times a week, we'll go on to Twitter and we'll post our visual that says thanks for the retweets, and we'll tag everybody that retweeted us that week. So hopefully that'll answer your question there, Shanna. All right, moving on. Now let's talk about using hashtags on Pinterest a little bit here. What I've done here is I've actually included a screenshot of what it looks like to upload photos to Pinterest, and then what it looks like once they've landed on your company's Pinterest page. So when you go to upload a pin that's original content from your agency on Pinterest, there will be a little plus sign in the upper right hand corner of the screen, and you click that. You can click on upload from your computer, and then it allows you to pick any pictures you have saved down. And so for this example, I went with one of our recent mobile app visuals, and you can see the picture getting uploaded in the screenshot on the left, and right underneath it in this white box, this is your description field. And essentially what you do here is you include a brief description of what the content is about, just like you would on Twitter, and then include your relevant hashtags. So for this post, I hashtagged mobile app as well as our agency's name, Paradiso Insurance, because I was posting specifically about the Paradiso Insurance mobile app. So if anyone was looking for an insurance agency's mobile app, that would be a great way to get some more traction online. Over here on the right, I wanted to include this screenshot as well so you can see what it looks like to your network once you finish posting here. And so you can see we have a quick visual that goes with, it's branded to our agency. It's got our red design element in our branded red. It has our branded cursive font as well as our branded standard font. And then we had a quick description about it saying, learn all about the Paradiso promise to our customers. And then we have a couple of hashtags here, hashtag Paradiso promise, hashtag Connecticut insurance, and things like that. But I wanted to point out to you guys really quick, a quick insider's tip on Pinterest here. Whenever you post a pin, this is what shows up. Once you click on pin it on this screen, it'll show up like this once you view your pin. And what you'd want to do here on Pinterest is always be sure to click this edit button afterwards, because it actually gives you more options where you can add both your agency's website and your agency's physical address. And anytime that someone repins your content on Pinterest, your agency's information will go with it to a whole nother network.
So you can show them right down there. You did it on that one.
Yeah, essentially, whenever your pin gets repinned to another network, your agency's phone number, address, website, all that stuff can go with the pin as long as you include to insert it by hitting this edit button on any of your pins. All right, next we have searching hashtags on Pinterest and repinning. I wanted to talk to you briefly about this based on what I was saying with the other slide. A lot of the times when people log on to Pinterest, only 80% of the users are actually just sharing the pins, and only 20% are actually creating original content. So Paradiso Insurance like I showed you, we were uploading our own original content that was saved on our computers already, and so we would be considered 20% of the users that are creating original content. But then 80% of the users log on and don't upload original pins. They only repin content. So we're looking for people to repin our content because the majority of the users are only repinning anyways. So one way that you can actually repin as an agency as well, and this will get you more engagement on Pinterest because you're engaging other people's posts, is to look up hashtags. As you can see in the search bar on the top of this screenshot I've included, we looked up a hashtag that was relevant to our agency, being classic cars. Because we love posting about classic cars. We have all sorts of classic car insurance packages available at our agency, and it's something that ties in with our agency's brand as well. So that's something we post about on a regular basis. So as you can see, I searched for the hashtags classic cars, and this is something else that, this is something that other people on Pinterest can do as well. So if I'm hashtagging about classic cars, my post would show up in this search. But essentially what I'm doing here is I looked for classic cars in my search field, and I can see all of these classic car pictures showing up. And if I wanted to, I could just hover over the picture and click repin and just share it to my network, give it a new description that talks about what's in the pin, and then give a few hashtags that are relevant to Paradiso Insurance instead of what the original poster put up.
And the one thing that Joe didn't bring up is being a part of that 20% is absolutely critical, because if you can become a part of the 20%, then hopefully you're getting your agency's content out into the social world. The key factor on that is can you get your name out there? Can you get your website found out there? You will see that you will get more followers in the social media arena, but at the end of the day, it comes down to dollars and cents. Can you drive more traffic to your website and then find a way to convert them to customers? That's the key factor. So just wanted to bring that up, that being a part of that 20% is a key component on generating and driving more traffic to your website, and hopefully at the end of the day closing more business and getting more opportunities.
Absolutely. We had a question come in from Sylvia Pang. It says, oh yes, I apologize. That must have been a typo. She was just saying it says learn all about out promise instead of our promise. I'll have to fix that for the next slide. All right, so let's talk a little bit about hashtagging on Google+. Here we had a quick post that was put up, I think maybe yesterday or the day before.
Yep.
And we had a screenshot of putting up a post on Google+. So when you're logged into Google+, right at the top of the screen, you have, where you can put in text or pictures or, videos, anything you'd like to upload, just like if you were logged into Facebook or Twitter. So what we did here is we uploaded a picture, and we included a few relevant hashtags. Here's a great quote on character and hashtag Paradiso Insurance. We also hashtagged quote and character, so that way if people are looking for any sort of motivational quotes that tie into the concept of having good character, people would be able to discover our post very easily. And then the post itself is branded to Paradiso Insurance. You have our branded design elements. It's in our branded red. It has our branded cursive font as well as our branded standard font and our simple logo in the upper left-hand corner. So what we're doing is when we brand these visuals like this, we're looking to reach people outside of our network, because we want our brand to resonate within our audience, not just inside our network, but outside our network as well. So we take the time to carefully brand these visuals to Paradiso Insurance, and then we try to get more traction outside of our network to have our brand resonate within our audience.
Well, the great thing is can we get prospects or just people out there who are looking for quotes to be able to get them to share our content? That's at the end of the day is we want to try to spread that, and how we're going to spread that is hopefully we put out a really cool quote that somebody really likes and enjoys, and what do? They decide to share it. While they share it to their network, they're then spreading the Paradiso Insurance love around, which is hugely important. We want to get that spread out, and by getting that spread out, we need other people's help. So that's why we take so much time to make sure everything is branded to the agency.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, moving on here. Now we're going to talk about using hashtags on Facebook, because we save the best for last, of course. So here is a quick example of our company's Facebook, Paradiso Insurance's Facebook page. And this is a campaign that we're actually still right in the middle of right now, that we hosted in our local town called Bikes for Reading, and we host it for the local elementary school. And essentially what we do is anytime a student reaches 70 hours of reading for the year, they get entered into a raffle where we're handing away 10 bikes for the year total, and students have a chance to win a bike for accomplishing their reading. So what we wanted to do is reach out to the whole local town, anyone searching for hashtags that are relevant to our local community. We wanted to include them here. So we have a quick message up top. We are excited to announce Bikes for Reading for the students of Stafford Elementary School, grades 2 to 5. Share this post to spread the word. So we're asking our network to share it because we're looking to get the most traction here. And as you can see, just from asking, share this post to spread the word. And it is a very positive message. It's speaking to the local community. We're trying to give back here. So people are more apt to engage because they know their community is involved here. And you can see this post actually reached 71 total shares. So that's 71 networks that this post reached outside of Paradiso Insurance's built network.
And they say the average on Facebook, friends-wise, is about 500 to 550. Times that by 71, that's how many people we reached for free, in the senses of they're spreading our message to their network, which is absolutely powerful. The other thing that most people don't realize is that 71 shares that I'm circling here, those shares right there are absolutely critical to helping Google understand your website and drive and generate your website up in rankings. And why does that do that? Because Google absolutely in their algorithm changes, they take in consideration shares, likes, and comments. That plays a role in your website to be found. A lot of people don't realize the importance of social media. Even if people don't like social media, they're still going to want to have opportunities from the internet, right? And by having those opportunities and not using social media, you're going to limit yourself on the opportunities that you're going to get through the internet, because Google is absolutely using and utilizing the shares, likes, and the social networks of our agency websites. Of our agency social media sites. So if there's marketing people on this webinar, I would tell you, please let your agency owners know the importance of social media is not just about being in the social world, but it's also about being found in the Google world. They go hand in hand. So this post is absolutely a huge boost for us and our website in the world of Google because of the amount of shares. Now, on this, we did pay dollars and cents. We did boost this. You can see we reached 8,066 people, which I continue to boost. Why? Because the program goes all through May and into June. It's also a huge part of our brand on being what we believe in supporting our community. So we're going to continue to spread money and sprinkle money into boosting this so that we can continue to get more shares, because it, as you can see, it has taken a liking in the community. So the other great thing about Facebook is within boosting, you can absolutely limit and spend the money and get this content, because this content is not meant to be shared in Chicago, right? This content is really meant to be shared in the Stafford community because it's going to be affecting the Stafford Elementary School. So there are ways within the boosting world that you can boost and spend less money just being orientated and pushing the content and targeting the content to just the Stafford community and its borders. So another great a great thing for social media is really the ability to target market, which, yes, hashtags play a role, but so don't boosting in the Facebook world too.
Right, absolutely. And just to kind of go off of what Chris is saying here, at the end of the day, you want to reach out to your network and you want to nurture your network through social media. But you also want to be building up your network over time by reaching out to people outside of your network. So this is a multi-touch strategy. First, what we did to increase our organic traction is we asked for shares, we included the relevant hashtags, and then we were looking to get people engaged, looking for likes and comments and things like that. Whenever someone comments, we always comment back. And then once we had a strong organic reach by using that strategy, then we decided to boost. And if you boost after you've got a great organic reach, your boost reach will go much further.
So the key concept is, and especially if you have an agency that maybe has 10 or 15 people in it, how can you get those 10 or 15 people to like your post of your agency? Because now what you're doing is you're helping spread that, spending smaller dollars to be able to reach more people. So you really have to really think about implementing. If you're a smaller agency, you have 1 or 2 people in the agency, a little bit more difficult. Well, hopefully you have some good friends that you could ask for help, family members, things of that sort. Hey, could you like our posts? Because we're trying to reach more people. And how do we reach more people? By getting more likes before you boosting it, boosting that post, you're going to be able to reach more people with less dollars spent.
And of course, we're also reaching people outside of our network with our agency's brand, because this visual, as well as the blog that's linked to this visual, is all 100% branded to Paradiso Insurance.
I want to just take a step back because we had a great question come in. Can you rank what platform to spend time posting on? And it came in from Kelly. Great question. I would tell you my approach is a little different than some other people's approaches, and everybody's going to have a different philosophy on this. That I can tell you that I don't care if you talk to 100 marketing people, they're probably going to give you a different answer to that question. I am a firm believer that everything needs to be a balanced attack. You will see that we do an awful lot of mailing, and all of our mailing, whether it's postcards or letterhead, is all branded. But we spend money with traditional marketing. We spend money with social media marketing. We spend money advertising at the local motor speedway. So we really have a blended strategy, and I believe the same thing in the social world. If you so choose that you're not in a certain arena, let's say you decide I don't like Twitter, you're ignoring a certain audience. Do I rank where we should be spending most time? Well, if you're in personal lines, I would tell you with what's going on in the Facebook world, you're seeing the younger generation leave. And where are they leaving to? They're leaving for Instagram. The younger generation, as you're looking at that 22, 23, 24 and younger avenue, those people have left and they really have gone into the Instagram world, and they love the Instagram world. That is why Facebook purchased Instagram.
Yeah.
So, but I would tell you, if you do sell personal lines insurance, Facebook now more than 5 years ago, you have more opportunities in the Facebook world to write personal lines insurance, because the average person, you're taking specific content, the kiddie content is what I call it, this 12-year-old, the 16-year-old, the 18-year-old, that content has all been moved out of there and moved over to Instagram. So we have much more of an opportunity for that 35-year-old, that 45-year-old, that 55-year-old, because they're still there and using Facebook. You still got almost 1.5 billion users on Facebook. That is an enormous, enormous audience. So I would believe that Facebook should be something that we would spend more time in.
Yeah.
I love Pinterest. Pinterest is an arena that a lot of agencies don't play in. If you're selling personal lines insurance, I would tell you you should absolutely be in the Pinterest world for 2 reasons. The first reason is if somebody calls in with a lead, why not go there after you hang up the phone and you've taken the information to go and see if you can find connectability. There is no better way to get to know somebody than Pinterest, because they're pinning on their boards and they're telling you what they love. Basically, they're allowing you in their house, and all you get to see is everything on their walls, which is everything they love. A great way to connect. The second reason why Pinterest is extremely powerful is because of hashtagging. So with hashtagging, you're giving yourself the ability, because Google has said within algorithms, Pinterest plays a role, social media plays a role. So you're helping your website. I would absolutely be putting a link to my website in not every post or every pin, but in a lot of pins. I would absolutely be hashtagging your pins. So Pinterest plays an enormous role. Where I'm going with this is that I think there's all avenues. If I was to ignore an avenue, any one avenue, it would be Snapchat. That would be the one area that I would say that is so new and such a younger generation that if you said to me I have 2 full-time people here doing social media, and I can tell you they run out of time. We do not accomplish everything we need to accomplish. So if you're telling me you're doing it, Snapchat would probably be the one area that I would avoid, only because I think there's more opportunity in other social arenas.
We also don't use Vine, though.
Vine is another, but Vine is kind of dying.
Right.
So do I like Vine? I do like Vine. It's just, do I think you can create content that can generate and drive business to your agency? It's more for branding than anything else. A lot of people may not even know Vine. Basically, they take 7-second blimps of somebody talking or whatever they're doing, and it just keeps relooping. But I would not ignore Twitter. I would not ignore Pinterest. I would not ignore Instagram. Even though Instagram has the younger generation, it's the future. So why would we ignore that now? I would be very concentrated on LinkedIn, especially if you're writing commercial insurance. I would be very concentrated in the Facebook world. And I do like Google+, and I think that anybody that would tell you avoid Google+, I would tell you you're crazy, because Google sets the rules, and at the end of the day, Google's the boss. Why would we ignore the boss? So that is just my 20-second spat on a balanced portfolio, a balanced attack in the social arena. But what is the best platform? My question to you, Kelly, is back to you would be, what exactly are you trying to accomplish? Are you trying to accomplish a brand? Are you trying to accomplish more opportunities to get the phones to ring? And if so, are you going after home, auto, business, boat? Are you going after manufacturers? What is the target market? I would be able to pinpoint that a little bit more. I would still come back and say that everybody needs a balanced attack. Right, so sorry for that long-winded answer, Kelly.
Right, and if you have more questions, by all means, feel free to reach out to us afterwards.
We just got another one in from Dean. Dean says, do you use Snapchat? Yes, we have used Snapchat. Yes, we've tried to use Snapchat. I'm not saying that that other agencies have not had success with it, because I would be lying to say that other agencies have. I'm sure there's an agency out there. Can you find a handful of them? Maybe. Can you find more than a handful of them? Probably not. Snapchat is just really for the younger generation. And yes, it will grow, and it will probably be within the older generation in the very near future. But right now, with all the other social arenas that you could be utilizing and being beneficial, I can tell you, inside of algorithms, which Google creates and changes every 18 hours, Facebook plays a big role. Twitter plays a big role. Pinterest plays a big role. I don't know the answer to Snapchat. It's been a question that's been asked to even social media people that's all they do, and there hasn't been a true form of a yes. Google has not said, we are using Snapchat to be able to help you within the algorithms, help your website to be pushed up the line. So yes, we have used it. Are we presently using it? No, we have so much on our plate right now. We're really focused on where we can generate more leads, more opportunities, versus testing that out right now.
Right. Snapchat is more
Great question, Dean.
Snapchat is more of a one-on-one communication platform instead of reaching a wider network. So we want to look to reach wider networks using the social medias that do it efficiently.
And Kelly, the reason why I gave that long-winded answer is because within the social media arena, especially in the insurance space, I'm able to speak at so many conventions. I hear so many people saying, well, LinkedIn stinks because it doesn't work, and it's just not a good social platform. Well, it may not work for one agency because maybe they're not doing it right. But to say that LinkedIn is dead or LinkedIn doesn't work is absolutely crazy. Our largest account we've ever written out of New Jersey, the relationship started. It's in excess of $1 million right now. Started through a relationship that started on LinkedIn. So I can tell you, and that's not the only relationship. I went to school with a young man that I haven't talked to since 1993, and he reached out on LinkedIn. He created and developed his own product. We wrote him a products liability. We wrote that within 2 weeks, but that relationship had been gone for 20 plus years. So when people say, well, it was a friend because you went to school with him, I hadn't talked to him since high school when we graduated, but it was LinkedIn because he says, hey, I see your great post. Obviously, you're doing quite well. And it's amazing on what the image is of all of our posts that we're doing that well. And he says, I see that you're successful. I would love to do business with you, and here's what I'm creating. This is what happened. We were able to, within 2 weeks, write a $4,000 policy, which was great, but it started on LinkedIn. So that's why I had given that long-winded answer.
All right, we have another quick question from Leah Golden. Do you use the same posts and hashtags on all social networks?
Great question.
That is a great question. I would say that we do use very similar hashtags because, like I said, a hashtag is only as powerful as many times as it gets used, because you need to build up the power of attraction, the traction for a hashtag over time by consistently using that hashtag, or by using other hashtags that are already trending on the social networks. But essentially, we do use the same posts that are similar in content. We'll change the message around a little bit, and we won't post the same post on different social networks at the same time. So let's say we wrote this Bikes for Reading blog, and we wanted to post it to both Facebook and LinkedIn. What we would do is maybe post it to Facebook on Monday, and then on LinkedIn we would wait till Tuesday or Wednesday to post it. Change around the message a little bit, and of course, if the social network uses hashtags, we might do experimenting with hashtags, because generally speaking, you want to use about 3 to 4 hashtags a post. If you go overboard with your hashtags, it could look like you're a little bit desperate for traction to your network, and that'll actually be a little bit of a turnoff for engaging on your posts for your network. But essentially, what we do is we'll have the same type of content going to different networks, but we'll post it at different times, and we might experiment with the hashtags a little bit, where we could post it to Facebook and write hashtag Stafford CT, hashtag education, hashtag school is cool. But maybe on another network we would hashtag Stafford CT, or hashtag Bikes for Reading, and then hashtag Paradiso Insurance, where we use similar hashtags but kind of mix it up to get more traction.
But the answer is yes, we will use the same hashtags on multi-platforms in the social media arena. And I would also say hashtagging in the world, in the visual content world of Pinterest or Instagram, because those are visual content platforms. You can use more hashtags there than you can in the Facebook world, because when you're in the Facebook world and you have 13 tags, hashtags there, you're seeing it does look like desperation, where it really, where you're getting any sites in the Instagram world is because of the hashtags. So totally different platforms where you can use more hashtags in certain platforms. Facebook is not a platform that you want to put 5 or 10 hashtags. Right. The same with LinkedIn. You do not want to hashtag the heck out of a LinkedIn post.
All right, we have a couple more things on hashtags before we move on to website design. Here we have a slide talking about creating hashtags for your agency. I wanted to bring this up really quick because, like I said, a hashtag is only as powerful as the number of times it gets used. The more a hashtag is used, the more traction you'll get from using that hashtag. And certain hashtags can be trending on, say Twitter, for instance. A hashtag can be trending on Twitter once enough people are posting about it over time. So what we've done is we've created a few hashtags for our agency, such as hashtag Paradiso Insurance, hashtag Paradiso Promise, or like with the Flag Day campaign we have coming up soon, we have a hashtag called hashtag Flags from Paradiso. And what to create traction with a hashtag that your agency originally created, you have to prompt your network to use it as well as use it in your posts consistently over time. So I've included 2 screenshots to show you the hashtag that we created, hashtag Paradiso Promise, which basically is a hashtag that we post with all of our Promise campaign posts. We have our 12 promises that we stick to on, with any customer that interacts with our agency, we will stick to our 12 promises for them. So I will be more than happy to send everyone a link to our Paradiso Promise campaign. But if you could look at these 2 screenshots real quick, we have a quick message on the left one saying, when you call our agency, everyone will be positive. Being positive makes a difference. Hashtag Paradiso Promise. And then on the right one here, we have a quick Pinterest post that I've actually included as a screenshot, where we have our branded elements showing in this image. So this image is branded to Paradiso Insurance, and we say within the branded element you can see a little message that says positivity. When you call our agency, everyone will be positive because being positive makes a difference. Again, it's the same promise, but in the visual we included the hashtag Paradiso Promise. Now, including a hashtag in a visual is not going to make a difference for the traction on the post, but it will prompt your network, the people looking at your post, to repost it and hashtag Paradiso Promise in the post. And that's going to build traction for the hashtag online as a whole.
And as you can see, we spend a lot of time using visuals, and those visuals are of our staff and our teammates here at Paradiso Insurance. I would highly recommend that everybody that's listening is get your owners on board. Make sure that you're taking pictures of your staff, because your staffs they're the front lines and they're the people the customers and clients are talking to. So it's very important to make sure that those visuals are being used.
Absolutely. All right, that's pretty much everything we wanted to go over with hashtags here. So let's take a look at our agency's
Any
website.
questions before we move on?
I'm not sure what he was trying to ask.
Dean asked a question, and we're not quite sure what that question, it's kind of broken up. If you could re-ask that question, that would be great. Love to be able to answer that for you. So, well, Dean, if you get a chance, if you could resend that questions, that would be great. What we'll do is we'll continue on to onto a website. First and foremost, I would say about a website is a lot of people will start with dollars and cents. What does a good website cost? A good website, you're not going to get a good website for $500, $800, $1,000. You can get a good visual website for that amount, but are you going to get a website that's going to be found? I would say virtually impossible. It's like winning Powerball. SEO and search engine optimization is absolutely key. The 2 keys to this would be, first, can we find your website? You could have the nicest website in the world, but if we can't find your website, or a prospect can't find your website, you have a website that's not doing you any good or anybody else any good, because it's not being found. The second is, once you are found, which is all based on search engine optimization, having the content that's written for your website, and hopefully hiring an SEO specialist to make sure that you can be found, would be the the visual content. So is it visually stimulating? Visually stimulating is going to keep somebody on your website. I would say part B to that would be ease of use. So once they found your website through search engine optimization, once they went to your website and they liked it because it was visual, third B, or the third one would be, is it easy to use? And a couple parts of being easy to use, I would say, first and foremost, I don't care if somebody doesn't stay on my website. I either want them to do one of two things. I want them to call, which you can always see the phone number of all of my websites will always be in the right-hand corner, because the way English is, it goes from left to right, and all the statistics show that you have the best opportunity by putting your phone number in the right-hand corner at the top. And you can see right next to that, remember what I said, I want only people to do one of two things, either call us or contact us, which is to get a quote. So if you click on that, you can see we have a little drop down. Hope you're having a great day. And if you scroll,
use the bar to the right.
Bar down.
Yep.
You can see that we're just asking for a few pieces of information. First name, last name, email, phone number, and zip code. They're all got stars there, which means we have to have them. And you can see contact me with more info is already pre-filled. So once you put that information in, it's going to instantly get shot to us, right to our email. So why do we want this? We want this information because we don't want to leave it in their hands. We want to be proactive and reach out to them. And that's a key concept. We did get a question in. Let's just take a step back. It says, you said that the Bikes for Reading got a lot of shares. Can you tell us what other types of posts also receive a high amount of shares? Okay, I did a post on, I took a Time, there was a post in the Pinterest world that said Time magazine, and then it had People of the Year, and it had our military. I took that and put that on Paradiso Insurance, and I paid about $50.
About that, yeah.
And we got about 10,000 likes, and I want to say close to 2,800 shares, 2,800 shares. Now, did it come with a little bit of controversy? It did, in the senses that people were saying, well, Time didn't pick them. Yes, Time didn't pick them, but I would recommend that Time should pick them. So that's why we did what we did. It was a part of our brand, a part of what I believed in, a part of what we believe in here at Paradiso Insurance, that the People of the Year that Time should have picked were our soldiers, our men and women who have served. So that was another post that was probably our #1 post that we've ever done. A couple other shares. I have some great quotes. I had some photos with my children, and then what we did is we just posted one of about being kind. That I think has close to 100 shares right now, and if you're on our Facebook page today, it's still being promoted out there. It's got an awful lot. It's just a real simple picture of somebody smiling like this, and then it just has a quote about being kind. It has our logo on there. But on others, great quotes we put with my children, and those two have gained a lot of shares. So that's a few things about the shares. Hopefully we answered your question.
Okay, we have another question coming in from Shanna here, saying we've had a lot of resistance from staff about having their photos out there in the social world. How have you gotten your staff on board with using their images for marketing?
Great question. I get it all the time. When we hire, a part of our hiring process is we believe in social media marketing, so we will be taking pictures of you. Are you okay with that? I know it sounds simple, but you'll be shocked that we've already prepared them. It went before we hire them that if they do come on board, photos and people running around with cameras in our office is common. I don't know of anybody. We haven't had this issue since I've included it into the hiring process. So we've been doing this about 5 to 6 years. We have had no issues whatsoever. But it's a common question, and a lot of people struggle. I step back as an agency owner and say, hey, if an employee is getting paid, how can I, as an owner, give them more money? Only if the agency grows. And I'm not trying to be a wise guy and come off like a Donald Trump in any which way. But I would say to the staff member or teammate, you want to make more money here. We want to promote you. We want to promote the agency. We want to grow our business. You're a part of this business. You're a part of a team. That's like asking in a basketball game, asking LeBron James, who's the best, arguably one of the best players in the NBA, to set a pick. Well, sometimes that's what you have to do for the team. I know it's a question that comes up almost every time I travel, and it's not an easy answer other than I would start right now by including and having a conversation with them and explaining them, saying, hey, we really need to take it to a new level. We need to grow our business. The only way we're going to grow our business is a part of it is using social media and using photos. If they still don't like it, I would still include it a part of the sales process. When Joe got hired, it was a part of the process of when he came in. Hey, we love social media. We are going to take pictures of you. Are you okay with that? Is that okay? Do you feel comfortable with it? If you don't feel comfortable with it, you're probably not the right fit for this agency. I know that sounds crazy, but it's absolutely a critical part of our marketing. So I wish you the best, because I know it's not easy, and I did have that issue 7 years ago, but I can assure you, with preparing people, and the more you prepare them, the better and the easier it is. People love to be in the photos. Jane can't wait for you to take a photo of her, some of our office staff.
Yeah. All right.
I think we got one more question, no?
We do have one more question coming in from our friend Will Shannon. What's your best advice for budgeting? Obviously, ROI is hard to measure, and you can spend different amounts based on the size of the audience you're trying to reach. But what would you say is best practice worth, without it costing too much?
And I think we should both give an answer, because I think it would be different. As the agency owner, I'm going to say flat out, ROI is not that difficult to track, because on every phone call of every new opportunity, every new lead, every new prospect, there's 3 questions. How did you find us? And you have to dig down. Oh, well, I went to Google. Okay, great, John. Can you tell me what you punched into the Google into the bar in the Google search that you found us? They will tell you. We have to ask them. Second step, asking for their cell phone. Third step, asking for their email address. 3 critical steps in order to be able to market to those people, along with finding out and measuring your ROI. That's step number 1. Step number 2 would be within the social media world, there are Google Analytics. There are ways of tracking. You can track your email open ratio. You could put a different phone number on your emails so that you could track that. So when somebody calls in, well, obviously, if it's a different number than your main number, then they called in from an email. So just like if you're marketing in the social world, a lot of people would just take a different phone number. If they're calling that phone number from the social world, or from the internet world, whether it's Google, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Google Plus, you know that it's come from the internet. So tracking ROI is not that hard in today's world to be able to say how many opportunities, and then hopefully you're tracking if you close. We track everything from how many opportunities, how long did it take to close them, did we close them, what's our hit ratio? Are we closing 50%, 60%? Absolutely key to measuring all of our ROI. So ROI is absolutely critical. Now, I'm going to talk to you about the marketing budget on this end. So, and then I'd like Joe to answer truthfully from his end, because I think it's different. It's different coming from somebody who's spending the money versus the person who's actually paying the money. So I'm a big believer that every business should spend a minimum of 10% of gross revenue. I will repeat myself, 10% of gross revenue. If you're grossing $1 million, there should be a $100,000 budget for marketing if you want to grow. Ours is about just a shade under 28%. I'm very fortunate that I have several other businesses that are paying me that I can invest in this agency to continue to grow. It's 27.5% is where we're budgeted right now. Our goal we're over budget. Our goal was not to be at 27.5%, 28%. Our goal was to be at 25% this year. But we are over budget. We know we're over budget. Some of it came into launching our new website, which was over budget and things of that sort. It happens. But as a starting point, if you have no budget, then I would simply ask one question. And once again, I'm not trying to be a wise guy. How did you order business cards if you have no marketing budget? How did you order stamps whatever you're putting on envelopes, if you're ordering envelopes with your logos on there. That's all a part of your marketing budget because it's a part of your brand. It's part of your marketing. So I would really sit down and analyze your dollars and cents and say, hey, can we start? And if you're saying that you've never done a budget before, I always say do half of that. If I believe that you should be at 10%, you got to start at least at 5. And then hopefully work your way up over the first year to get it so that in year 2 you're at 10%. If you want to grow your agency, you need to invest. How many agencies don't have any marketing budget? Well, how can you say how are you going to grow in 2016 if at the end of 2015 you said you had no marketing budget? Well, I don't know what it's going to be. Well, then how can you actually predict what you're going to grow? So I think they do go hand in hand. So that's where I'm coming from. I hope I answered that to the best to what you were looking for. Joe, maybe you could answer a little bit of ROI and what you look at, because I know you look at things that are a little bit different.
Yeah, just so you guys know, when he's talking about the 28% of gross revenues going into the marketing budget, there's a lot that goes into that. We have myself and Julia that are both full-time marketers working right here in the agency in-house. So that way we understand the brand 100% and we can effectively market by working in-house and being, surrounded by staff and involved with all things Paradiso insurance. You're also
and it's not just your income. They're getting paid, of course, but then you have a budget for Facebook, you have a budget for Twitter, you have a budget for all social media. We have a budget for stickers that we have our flag and it says Paradiso Insurance, and those are envelope sealers in the back because it's a part of our brand.
And just using our software, things like that, like we have the Adobe Suite that we use to edit our visuals and things like that, and that costs us $50 a month to run that. And we also have anything we spend on calendars or postcards or anything like that. That's all going into the marketing budget.
Thank you cards, gift cards for those thank you cards. So the marketing budget, when we analyze it, why I'm at 28% is because I believe that we send out almost $22,000 of gift cards a year. So that's a part of marketing. We thanking them for choosing to do business. The next couple cups of coffee are on us. It's just a part of our brand and what we believe in doing. So there's a lot to add to that, Joe.
Yeah.
And ROI for you, you look at certain things like how many downloads of the app. That's a part of where you're feeling that you're justifying what you're getting paid, right? How many views are we getting on Facebook, right? Yeah. How many impressions are we getting on Twitter?
You can look at all that stuff through, each social network has their own built-in analytics for business pages. So we do report analytics to see, where we got the most traction or likes or things like that on Facebook. And you can see on what dates you had the most traction and then look at what dates you were boosting to see how effective your boosts were. But when it comes to social media marketing budgets, I can tell you guys that just with our Facebook and social media marketing advertising, paid advertising online, between myself and Julia, we have $500 a month to spend just between the two of us. But Chris also has, his cell phone, his computer, all that stuff hooked up for boosting as well. So he will boost from time to time and spend anywhere between like $250 to $500 a month on his own accord as well.
That's so we're roughly about $1,000 in promoting posts a month. So that's $12,000 right there. That's just promoting what we're boosting and posting in the Twitter world, Facebook world, LinkedIn world.
And just to give you guys an idea, if you're not already boosting for social media or doing what we'd like to call pay-to-play marketing online, doing paid advertising online in the social world, a good place to start just to see, to have some trial and error for a little bit and see where you can get the most traction out of, what targeted boosts for certain types of posts. You have to see what works and what doesn't and improve each time. A good place to start, I actually do some subcontracting for a local business here in town that wasn't doing pay-to-play, and we decided to start off with $250 a month just to get the ball rolling. And I would suggest doing that for a few months, improving your posts to get the most engagement out of your boosts, and then possibly upping to at least $500 a month later on.
So, Will, I noticed that that's why we stepped back. We saw you send that question back in, so we just stepped back to answer that.
All right, so you want to get back to the website here?
Yes. Any other questions, please don't hesitate. As we were discussing on the website on the importance of having your phone number and getting a quote, those are the two key call to action plans that we have. A call to action plan is everything if you're going to have a profitable website. You cannot have a profitable website with no call to action plan. So there's only two ways you can do that. Well, there's really three ways. You could have a live link on there where they come in live into your agency, a phone number, and get a quote. I guess there's really four, because some people now, agencies are actually putting on where somebody can quote themselves. I'm not a big believer in that, but if your agency does, that's fine. It's different strokes for different folks. How I look at it is, why would somebody want to come in and quote their own insurance? When we're independent agents, we believe in giving education, our knowledge, rather than them doing it themselves. That's just my philosophy. Doesn't mean it's right or wrong. It's just what's right for this agency. Now you can see that we have quite a few testimonials. Why choose Paradiso? Absolutely critical. The more testimonials you can get, the better it is for you. Hopefully not everybody's just posting about how much money they saved, because now if people are reading those, well, you saved so-and-so $1,000, why'd you only save me $300? That can come in and play a role and hurt. Great thing is if you could get some of your friends and family to be able to quote or give a good testimonial about the service that you're giving and the customer experience. Absolutely intricate and very helpful for having a profitable website. As you can see, there's a slide on this. The reason why there's slide is because it's motion, and motion is going to help. It's like when we did GIF. That motion on that video helps lure people in.
It's more engaging. It's
more engaging. So that's why we have the slide. And just so you can see the logos here in the top left-hand corner. I would highly recommend, I see some agencies not even put their business name up there. I would recommend to have that up there and hopefully have your logo. And the number one thing here is you see that they're not stock photos. There is one stock photo here. You'll see they're sprinkled throughout, but you'll see that 85% of our photos are photos that we have had taken, and they're photos of our staff, photos of us.
And that goes for all of our digital marketing, not just our website.
Absolutely critical to your website and to all social media marketing. So other things that you can see here that pop up.
Do you want to show them the rest of the homepage?
Yes, that's where we're going to go before we go to commercial. As you slide down, you scroll down, you're seeing the testimonials, and now they're seeing the Paradiso team. And like I said, a call to action plan would be to contact us. Maybe in another case that they may want to just contact directly right to specific people. That's fine. You can see that we do have some of our staff here, and we have a page with our whole staff. As you know, that a part of our brand is classic cars. I love to collect classic cars. This was a beautiful 58 Ford Fairlane with my family in the backyard. So as we go down, now we have content. A key concept here is you see this content. This content was written by a professional. Why did we want a professional writing this? For two reasons. For one is there's keywords in here. You're going to see insurance in here an awful lot, which is very important. So keywords. And secondly, the way it's written is you want to have it professionally written where there's not errors written, misspellings, and all this other good stuff.
That'll be huge for your agency's SEO.
So this is key. This writing here is absolutely critical. And what ends up happening is a professional writer will write it and then give it off to a search engine optimization specialist, an SEO specialist. That SEO specialist will just touch it up with and sprinkle a few more powerful words, which are keywords. For example, Connecticut and insurance are two very important words because I sell insurance in Connecticut. That's the focus of personal lines. Commercially, yes, we sell in many states, but you can see that we'll have a special landing page for that. Okay? And off to the right, you're seeing our Paradiso promises, because our promises are so very important to us. You can see all of our promises here. But once again, it finishes up as you scroll down, because people don't always want to click pages. The way people actually visually see things today is they're scrolling up. So the more they continue to scroll up or down, the more content they're getting. You're going to keep them there longer to your website. By keeping them there longer to the website is absolutely critical to conversion and getting them to convert to a client or a prospect, or at least an opportunity to quote that business. But you notice as I scroll down, the phone number and get a quote still remain with me. See that? Absolutely key, once again, to having a profitable website. As you can see, we continue to scroll down, and it ends with our app. Why? Because we believe that it's going to give our customers a customer experience that's much better than our competition. We feel that our app is a huge value add on why people should do business with Paradiso Insurance. Once again, it has our logo, it has one of the top slides, and it has our information where they can literally off to the left click to download for an iPhone or an Android. So that being said, we're going to scroll down to the bottom, and what do we have? We have our hours of operation along with our location. The reason why we have this is because there's something called Google Local. Google Local loves to have your personal information for your agency. So one thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to have, hopefully I would recommend on having your local phone number and also your local address. Having your hours are also very critical because it gives them an easy opportunity that if they land on your page that they know that whether you're open or whether you're closed. Okay? Have anything to add, Joe?
Not right now, no.
Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to scroll back up, and now we're going to go and I'm going to hover over commercial insurance. What happens over commercial insurance is it's going to, what I would recommend, these are all landing pages. Landing pages are critical for you to drive business to whatever you might niche or have a specialty market. For example, we write a lot of bars and grills. We write a lot of bonds. We write a lot of EPLI insurance. Everything that we do that we feel, you notice we don't put on a million roofers and things of that sort because that's not what we specialize in. Trucking insurance, we do a big business in trucking. We do quite a few restaurants, commercial property. When you create your landing pages, you don't have to create 2,000 landing pages. That can actually hurt your website because what we did on my last website is we did the analytics of how many people are going to each landing page. If there are people that for a year nobody landed on that landing page, we did away with it because Google doesn't want to have pages and content that nobody's going to. So what I would recommend is analyze the pages and the page views of your landing pages and get rid of those pages that are not being used. Absolutely key. Okay? We also, if you push over to personal lines, once again, we go through the lines that we write. And now if we push over, and if you'd like to see, what we'll do is we'll just click on antique cars. So as we click on antique cars, you can see it is a, once again, the phone number and get a quote remains with us. You can see it is a personal picture that we have. And once again, if we scroll down, we are trying to drive people to quote. What this content is this content is written for one reason. It's written for Google to understand that we have a landing page that we write antique insurance, also called hot rod insurance or classic car insurance. And that is what that content is written for and looked at by a search engine optimization specialist to make sure that when we're using this and we're writing blogs, we're using our backlinks inside of the blogs that we're writing for classic cars or antique car insurance. Once again, we're really just looking for them to contact us to get a quote, which is just to give us the information and so we can reach out to them.
And also, if you have your different service offerings and products listed like we do, if you have certain videos or visuals that correspond with the service offering or the product, such as if you had a video about flood insurance, because a lot of customers or potential prospects don't understand flood insurance or umbrella insurance, these difficult insurance products. If you had a video corresponding, that'd be great to embed the video right on the landing page so that way it's there. That'll help your SEO. It'll help your customers with understanding your products. And if you have any sort of visual content marketing like we do, we have a different visual for each. We can take a look at.
Let's show them. Let's just
take a look at umbrella insurance really quick. We go over. There's a picture of the kids here, and then if you take
which is a picture of my kids. So once again, and I don't say that lightly, I say that is you should have personal pictures rather than just all stock pictures. Now you will see some stock pictures, like I had said, but a good majority of them are not stock.
Right. So we have a balance. Majority of our pictures are not stock photos, but I will show you an example of one that is. We have a quick shot about wedding insurance. but it's key that we have unique visual content marketing on each of our landing pages. Each of our landing pages starts with the visual to get the audience engaged, then they continue on to the content to see what it's all about.
So that's a great point. Now, hopefully that was helpful for everybody. If we go over to Service Center, understanding your auto insurance, personal renewals, we'll just click on personal renewals, give you a little quick shot of what's going to pop up. So, renewal questionnaire. We love to put that questionnaire right on there, and then what you could also do is use that link and put it into an email if you wanted to drive traffic to your website, which is a good thing. Google wants that. If they click on this, you can see it's going to ask for...
This page is essentially an automated form that we had our website designer program, so that way once they're looking for a renewal, we request all of their information and it gets submitted automatically to one of our agents.
And I apologize.
And it's called a type form.
Yeah, I'm just having a little bit of an error here.
This is just a video. You can close out this tab.
A beautiful way to ask people questions.
Yeah. This is creating a different one. You want to go back to renewals, the first tab.
Yeah, I don't know why. Oh, that's because I hit enter. I'm sorry. So what it does is it does bring up about 15 questions that we started with Producer Online. If people are looking for content, we get all of our content from Producer Online, which is put out by Rough Notes Magazine. If you go to roughnotes.com and then up in the top corner, you can just click on Producer Online. Anybody that wants a trial test, I'm happy to give you a login into mine so that you can try it. It is the largest insurance database of information. It has questionnaires and things of that sort. So we took their questionnaire and we kind of dummied it down because they have like 38 questions. We know that we couldn't get most of our prospects or clients to answer 38 questions. So I think we're down to 12 to 15 questions, pretty simple questions. Have you done an addition? Have you added a pool? Have you redone your roof? Things of that sort. But it's great because if we can get that information, get it filled out, we then contact them and say, hey, notice that you sent a form in that you've added a pool. Really need to discuss about liability and making sure that you have an umbrella. If you don't have an umbrella, this is the reason why you would need an umbrella. So being interactive and getting people to use your website is a great way to keep them coming back to your website.
Yes. And if anyone is curious about Producer Online from Rough Notes, by all means feel free to shoot me an email after we're finished up here. I'll have my contact information on the last slide, and I'll gladly send you the information once we're done.
We also have something what we call on a partners page. So on our claims page is just like our partners page. What we do is our partners page is these are all commercial clients of ours. What we try to do is we want to generate and drive. So we give them a backlink to on our website, which is helping their website. So we're driving our personal lines people to our commercial lines people. Absolutely key in building relationships because these are all different businesses that we do business with. And if they click on it, there's a backlink. And that backlink will go right to their website. And we have lots and lots of commercial customers who generate business and get business off of our website for more than one reason. Not just by adding that link, it's helping them, but there are people that are generating business just off of our website because they understand that we send out a postcard saying, hey, please take a look at our partners page. And we also use it in the social world. Check out one of our partners, partner of the month, partner this, partner that. And these are all our commercial customers. The other thing we do is when people report a claim through our website, if you're reporting a homeowner's claim, it's going to give builders, and it says trusted advisors onto the right of it, and it's going to give them
suggestions, essentially.
Trusted advisors, and it's going to give opportunity to do business with some of our customers. So if they had asbestos or had a water damage, they may need Casa Grande builders to help build, but they're going to probably need AMA to also do the asbestos removal and mold removal remediation. So we try to generate business over to our trusted advisors. Great way to build trust, and some agencies actually have taken this idea and they charge for that, and they're getting about $500 a month. Up to you. I just believe that I'd like to return the business back to the people. They put food on my kids' table. I'd like to put food on their table. Okay? That's just how we look at it. If you go, that's service. So we had the partners, the claims, personal renewals, commercial renewals, same thing as the personal renewals, understanding your auto insurance. If we go to about, community involvement, we want people to understand what we're doing in the community and what we're doing. So as we're doing a program, we're going to put a link there and we're going to hopefully talk about it in Flags from Paradiso Insurance. As you can see, we have our hashtag there, Flags from Paradiso INS on social media. Get the word out, and this is just a quick quote. And what we'll do is, while we're doing it, we put up a page, hey, June 14th this year, which is Flag Day, stop by between 11:30 and 2 for sausage, hamburger, and soda. We have a cookout here. We have the address off to the right, and just talk about we'll take your old flags because there is a flag ceremony. At 6:30, we will bring your flag to the flag ceremony, and there's the proper disposal of an American flag. But meanwhile, we're going to replace your old flag with a new flag. We do it all week, but we hope to generate a lot of hype and people over to the agency on the 14th. And it just talks about the event. And then what we'll do is after the event, we'll post photos on here of the event, and then we'll generate hopefully more hype for next year's, because we continue to do these as annual events. Continue to update your website is absolutely critical. So moving back, just so we can quickly go through because we're already over. Seems like we do this every time. Meet the staff. I will tell you to be careful when you put your staff on there. When you add last names, because owners, what ends up happening is headhunters continue to call and call and call and call and call. So what ends up happening is headhunters will continue to headhunt when you have their first and last name. I would recommend that you take off last names and just add just the initials. That's my personal opinion. But in some cases, if you feel comfortable and you want to have them on, you can have them on. Totally up to you.
We actually normally have no last names included on our website, but our website was just updated, so we're going to be fixing that.
So the Paradiso promises are here. They click on that. They're going to have the Paradiso promises. Once again, going through, as you can see, I think it's pretty nicely laid out. Personal pictures. As they scroll down, you're going to get the 12 promises. And I think it's hugely important. At the bottom, once again, you have the office hours, you have your phone number. Google Local loves to have that. Do not hesitate to have your phone number everywhere. As you can see, it always remains at the top, so your website should always keep that at the top. Now we'll go over to testimonials. Those are all the testimonials, hugely important to the website because people want to hear what other people are saying. We have a bunch of testimonials from clients, as you can see. And we ask continuous for those because they are hugely helpful. Local listings. This is a great way to get people to write reviews. What do? You'll just take this. All you can do is highlight that, hit Alt-C, and then put it in an email saying, hey, John, I'd love for you to fill out a review. I'm happy you had a great experience here at Paradiso Insurance. We're appreciative of your great comments. Could you please post a review either in Google, Yelp, or Facebook? Now, all they have to do is click on it. And as you can see, we do have Insider, we do have Merchant Circle and City Search, but the goal is I really want to generate people to Google, Yelp, and Facebook because those are the most used areas. Okay? Really easy way to generate people to write reviews. And it's dummy proof because a lot of people say, well, I don't know where to write a review. Well, the easy thing is just send them a link, they click on it, and they write it in there, and they hit submit, and they're done. Mm-hmm. Press, that's just any stuff that we have going on. Employment, because we're always looking to, we are always interviewing, so we have an employment page. And our blog. Why a blog? A blog is absolutely critical to your website. Your visual content marketing is key, but even bigger than the visual content marketing is the words, the verbiage, because you want to make sure that you're writing and putting good content in there so that you're telling Google what you do. Every day that you post a new blog, you're updating your website, so in the eyes of Google, they are very happy with that. It is absolutely critical that your agency be blogging. I'm not saying you have to blog 7 days a week. Pick a plan. If you were to start, my recommendation is start with 2 days a week. Just make sure you're consistent and persistent. Persistent in the sense is that you're putting out good content, not rush content with good visuals. And then consistent in the senses of don't post on Monday this week, Tuesday on the following week, Saturday on the following week. be consistent. If you're going to post on Tuesdays in the morning, post on Tuesdays in the morning and be consistent with that. The last piece over here is contact us. When you click on that, it's pretty simple. We want to generate people to call us. We have our phone number everywhere. Once again, here's our contact information. They can just click right on the email to email me, and here's the office hours, and once again, another contact us, a call to action. You can see on almost all of our pages there's a call to action plan. It's on every page, whether it's this call to action or get a quote or contact us. Absolutely key to having a successful website. That's all I have for now. I don't know if there's any more questions, and I do apologize. We went 25 minutes over, and I kind of rushed through that, and I do apologize for that just because of time. I don't know if anybody has any other questions. We're happy to answer. Can you copy other people's blog information? Jenna, can you copy other people's blog information and or content, and is there a copyright infringement? First and foremost, you absolutely do not want to copy other people's content for two reasons. First of all, it's their content, and second of all, Google will not help you in any which way or form, because the first original content, if it's posted on Paradiso Insurance and you copied it and put it on yours, Google looks at it as just copied and is not going to help you in any which way. Blogging is there to help generate leads, options, and opportunities to your agency. So original content is absolutely critical to generating those opportunities, and it really doesn't do much for you. Another question.
What was the budget for our new website?
Our budget for our new website was $25,000. And yes, it was expensive, but I will say
it's going to pay for itself.
It's going to pay for itself. It's very inexpensive when you're thinking about what we're going to drive and generate to the, already our views are up ridiculously just since we launched it. It's only been 2 weeks, and we're still working some kinks out. For example, we have first and last names, which we don't usually do. We're going to change that and just make sure that we fix that. So I would recommend that if you were saying, okay, you're starting off, I would look at a budget between $500 and $7,500 is probably what it's going to take to put out a halfway decent website. If you want to generate premium and opportunities, it's going to take more, like probably about $10,000 to have a good website. Search engine optimization and finding an SEO specialist. We are very fortunate to work with a great individual out of Providence, Rhode Island, and a great firm, and it's pretty inexpensive. Usually they're very expensive. He works inside the insurance space because he feels that he can help. He came from another industry of helping attorneys on big class action lawsuits. He kind of felt sleazy, and he left that and came into the insurance space because he felt that there was so much need and there's so little search engine optimization out there for the average independent agency's website. So I'm happy to share some of that with you, but it is going to take some money to have a profitable website.
Right. If you need suggestions for either a branding professional, website design professional, or an SEO specialist, by all means feel free to email myself or Chris, and we can definitely shoot you some information.
And Jenna, I thank you again for those awesome socks that give back for charity. I appreciate you giving those to me out in Indiana last week. Really appreciate that, and happy you were able to join us.
Just for everybody, we're going to need to start wrapping up here. If you guys enjoyed the content today, by all means, feel free to give us a like on Facebook. Our page is Paradiso Presents LLC. Very easy to find by just searching us in the bar up top. And if you enjoyed the content today, let us know. We have a quick review section. If you click on more right on our page, we have reviews. We would love to hear what you had to think about the webinar today. And I'd also like to mention I will be sending out the recorded version of this webinar to everybody that either registered or attended with us, as well as sending you how to find out which hashtags are trending on the social media networks, so you can figure out which ones you want to use for your marketing plan. I'm going to send you our promises campaign, the link to our new website, and the links to our social medias in case you'd like to stay connected with us at Paradiso Presents.
We'd also like to say thank you to goinsuranceagent.com for allowing us to use their webinar technology in order for us to deliver this to you. We really appreciate that, and thank you for being a partner of our agency. We love your app, and thank you for allowing us to help other agencies and allowing us to use their technology. So thank you, everybody. And any questions, once again, please don't hesitate to email either Joe or myself. They're on the screen there, and we're happy to answer your questions or take phone calls. Thank you. Have a great rest of the week.
All right. I'm going to leave our contact information up for anyone looking to get a hold of us. And we thank you again for joining us at Paradiso Presents.